Yellow!
Hey bud, what's up?
Oh, just getting going here.
Place a disaster?
Oh yeah, big time, bud.
Let's make this happen.
Sounds good.
I'll be up front. Bye.
Let's go to the McDons house. Let's go to the McDons. Let's go to the McDons house and play some songs. Let's go to the McDons house. Let's go to the McDons. Let's go to the McDons house and play some songs.
Thanks, everybody.
Fly if you like, it won't help you stay calm in the cold. Blue, blue moon, quiet, clear view, stay calm in the cold. Calm in the cry if you like, it won't help you stay calm. As I pass you by, and your face is all the changes in this town. And you've been making out so high that the only place that's left to go is down. Right now it's fine. Soon you'll find we're running out of time, and it won't be long till all your hopes and dreams are dead and gone. My old friends I've lost their way. Growing old is always hardest on the outcast, and it's a dirty, risky game to play, and someone always has to come in last. Well, they're not blind, they can't see through the pennies on their eyes, and I can't say why. I'm haunted by their voices in my mind. So get your rest, 'cause there's no promise of another breath, and I'll say farewell. It's over now as far as I can tell. It's Ryan's spot of the week. It's Ryan's spot.
this week I wanted to talk about death and near-death experiences. I mean, people have been dying since a while now, and apparently about every second 3 people die. What are some of the causes of death? We got suicide, you know, mass suicides, and accidents, you know, car accidents, you know, people falling to their death, poison, you know, dueling a Jedi Master. You know, I guess that could probably fall under suicide as well. Swallowing rocks, that'll probably kill you. But, you know, everybody's got to go somehow, and it really makes you wonder, what is death? You know, is it the end? Is it Norm Macdonald? Is it like a transition of our soul? Or is death simply one of the greatest bands of all time? And I think that is truly the only thing that we know for sure about death. We hear about big deaths that are in the press, you know, people like Lady Di, you know, Saddam, you know, he got hung, and Michael Jacks, you know, we heard about that. That was in the news for like 6 years. Whitney Houston, that one was pretty recent. Pope John Paul II, and you know, some people, they don't get that type of exposure, and I just want to mention a few of the important ones. First of all, Mr. Perfect, Big Boss Man, Bam Bam Biggs. You know, all these wrestlers who are so important to our foundation of civilization, they all died, and you know, you hear about Macho Man, but at least we forget about these greats. You remember how Predator and Preds 2, they were both amazing movies, and the rest of them really seemed to suck Harry Dingleberries? Yeah, well, that's because of Kevin Hall. I mean, he was the Predator, he was huge, super tall guy. He was also Harry in Harry and the Hendersons, the friggin' friendly-ass Bigfoot. And, well, he died, you know, he got AIDS from a blood transfusion after a car accident. And I don't mean Gatorades, like, we're talking full-blown monkey AIDS. So, you know, some people wish that he had been like a Jehovah's Witness, you know, because they're anti-transfuge. Steve Urkel. Yeah, he's dead. Not really, but his career has been for quite some time. But his girlfriend, Myra, remember her? Yeah, I do too. Well, she also played Theo's girlfriend on The Cosby Show, you know. She was basically like a TV slut-ho, jumping around from show to show, being everybody's girlfriend. But sadly enough, she died from stomach cancer in '98. You know, maybe she swallowed too much chewing tobaccos. I mean, maybe she wasn't reading those warning labels on the cigarettes. You gotta watch out for that. Never Ending Story 2, remember that one? Ladybugs with the Rodney Dangerfield. Sidekicks, you remember that one? Chuck Norris and Jonathan Brandis. That's right, he's dead, committed suicide. I know all you ladies are crying right now because you loved him so much. Casper in the movie Kids, remember him? He was a cool guy until he died by hanging himself in the year 2000. 3,000 per day die from hippos. You know, this is getting to be an epidemic itself. Falling out of bed, that kills about 400 some people every year in the US alone, and you know, we gotta keep some pillows on the floor here, people, or either that or get rid of your bed frames. I mean, you know, those shitty bed frames are putting people to the grave. And apparently both ants and dogs are killing people, you know, 30 people a year. Whether it's biting your eyeballs out of your head, or, you know, ants entering inside your body just to eat your organs. I don't know what ants do to kill you, but they're killing people. You know, we gotta wonder, is there anything that comes after? Like, you know, sometimes I think maybe Hercules is in the afterlife, or Zeus. You know, Green Eggs and Ham, Diablo 4, that would be kind of cool. You know, just get Diablo 4, it doesn't exist yet, but it does after you're dead. Baby Jesus, Ishnu, you know, all these things. But I often like to picture that there's a big golden arches up in the sky, you know, and you know that in heaven the quarter meat's always fresh, damn it. It's always good to go. So there's claims that people die and they're pronounced dead by Jack Shepherd from Lost and other doctors, but they come back to life. You know, sometimes 20 minutes later, their heart's been out, you know, they're getting CPR, they're dead. They come back and they report some strange occurrences after being dead. You know, there's a lot of skeptics out there, and that's good. And they argue that the near-death experience is just the brain shutting down, and that your brain goes through those steps. You know, you're seeing the bright lights and, you know, baby Jesus and stuff, and it all takes place in the mind. And There's a lot of tests that have been done with jet pilots who black out from the G-force, you know, basically their brain getting deprived of oxygen, and they have some similar symptoms there. So, you know, some say, is it merely just a dream, you know? Is that what the whole death experience is? But you can't say it's a dream because you can't really hallucinate or dream when your brain's flatlined, you know? You got no brain waves, no brain activity. There's basically no brain power going on up in there, and trust me, I know about this because my brain power is always running high range, and you know, probably like the 5% range. So it's really unlikely that we'll ever be able to prove the existence of life after death
until we die.
But for the people who have had NDEs, they generally lose their fear of death, and they become more loving people, and they become more charitable. So if you or anyone that you know has had an NDE, send your donations my way to the McDons NDE Research Fund, and I'll put your money to good pizza. I mean research.
It's Ryan's spot of the week. It's Ryan's spot of the week. Any meaning. The next time's the last time that it'll be easy. Don't cry for me. You only saw what you're able to see. Tell yourself sometime some things are just meant to be. Before I get lost again, it's hard not to think about how much it cost in the end. Don't cry for me. It's just a symptom of the disease. If I don't turn around, you'll always know where to find me. Let's drink to better days. To you and yours everywhere. This one's on me for a change. Don't cry for me. Remember that no one and nothing is free. Nothing is nothing, and everything's so far away. How you doing? Now I remember what we like to play. You guys are alright. The Whacker! Mark's made a list of the best albums in the history of the human being. Records we all should talk about. An album we could all listen to this week.
Alrighty, here we go. Number 20, the 20th best record in the history of the human race. Oi, give us a wank. The Sweet. Now, I don't want to get this one wrong because it's like when we're talking about Deep Purple or Death or Bathory, you know, the Sweet are a freaking heavy band. So how are we going to start this? Do we start it with rock, with hard rock? Maybe so. Rock and roll! To rockabilly, to beat music, to psychedelic. Then by 1969 they started calling it rock. And then the hard rock triumvirate started with what? Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Deep Purple. And it's funny, these guys should almost be alongside of that because they even predate those three bands. And but it seems they came later because when I got into the Sweet, I first heard them was like 73 and they sounded bubblegummy to me. You know, very pop with, I guess, that glam tinge of Gary Glitter and Slade and T-Rex, stuff like that. But if I would have looked closer, or listened closer, I guess, to those B-sides, starting right back in 1968, their first B-side ever, they always had more to offer. It's just the A-sides were kind of like written by other people. That's just it. They were kind of puppets up until a certain point. So this album, even though they started in 1967-68, this album was 1976. And it's almost their first album in a way because for their first 5 albums, they had to like be under Phil Wayman, manager that way, and with Nicky Chin and Mike Chapman writing most of the songs. So we'd only get, you know, the B-side sort of thing, you know, the secondary stuff that you'd have to dig for. So this is the first album that they did themselves, and they finally snipped off their puppeteers and they went it alone. So they went to Munich, late 1975. They produced this record themselves. They wrote everything themselves. This record comes off like a Sherman tank in a way. Even though I first heard them in 73 with Little Willie, the bubblegummy sort of song, Desolation Boulevard, not the British version, but the North American version, was a pretty rad album, and that's what really got us seasoned up for this. So I'm at Eaton's Highfield Square for my mother. It's spring 1976. And, you know, we're in the record department. Of course, I'd love to have a record, but, you know, my parents are pretty poor, so I didn't always get records. But she said, would you like a 45? I can't afford a record, but would you like a 45? I said, yeah, wow, cool, let's take a look. And Action, I think the first single off this album was there, and I picked it up, and man, oh man, right then and there you knew that they were writing their own stuff and they were producing their own stuff. It was a hard-edged one. So that was spring 76. This came out around that time, but it wasn't until summer that I finally picked it up, and man, oh man, you know, listening, like I say, if you got Desolation Boulevard, all of side 2 is written by the Sweet. It's some of the heaviest, godliest stuff put out in the mid-70s, but this record comes on stronger, harder. It's like a rape in a way. So there we go. Oddly enough, I mentioned the North American version, Desolation Boulevard, versus the UK version. Same thing with this record. The UK version of this album starts off with Lady Starlight, which is the mellowest song on the album. So it doesn't, I don't know, it's almost like you have to have the North American version to get the full brunt of it and stuff like that. So what else can we talk about? My God. The other single on this album is The Lies in Your Eyes. And a little trivia here. I started top 10s on a weekly basis in 1980, but top 10 did exist back starting about 1974, 75. And I did make one for 1976, and there was a couple of songs from this album on that top 10. The Lies in Your Eyes was one of them for sure, because I remember me and Danny Ross riding on a Honda 50 double late at night with a little cassette deck in between us playing Lies in Your Eyes, and I'll tell you, this album is summer of 76. So there you go. What else can be said about this? You know, we have friggin' Brian Connolly, Steve Priest, Andy Scott, Mick Tucker. Just that's a force enough to friggin' make you go, whoa. So, what the hell are we doing here? There's gotta be an incidentally, that's for sure. So I guess White Mice on this album is the 76th best song in the history of the human being. Yesterday's Rain is so strong that I wish I had the top 100 songs figured out, because I almost think that I'm pulling sass here. Now, despite the fact that this is a near 5-star album, or it probably is, there is one slight little blemish. Not a blemish by any standard of rock music or any of the band, but by the Sweet standards, or by this album standards, there is the song that's a little bit weak on this album called Healer. But they did it live a lot, so they seem to believe in Healer, but to me it's just a little less. But that's it. That's just the slight little that takes it away from the 5-star sheen that this album is. Because you'd think, you know, if it's the 20th best album in the history of the human being, it should be 5-star solid. But you know, Healer, it just fell short a little bit. And oddly enough, there was a 4th single off this album called The 4th of July. 4th of July. Isn't that cool? I just figured that out. Anyway, but it only came out in Australia and Japan and maybe Spain, so it's not really considered a main single off this album in a way. So, holy shit, I wonder, you know, if because this is the first time the Sweet has been kind of given on our list here, and I want to make it special for these guys, because I'll tell you, the Sweet was the band, even though they predate Deep Purple, Black Sabbath, and Led Zeppelin, they were the band that hinged that era of hard rock to punk. I got into these guys heavily in the mid-70s, and they were that bridge. When Deep Purple, Black Sabbath, and Led Zeppelin were starting to get boring to me, I don't know how I can say that, but they did. And before I got into punk, it was the Sweet. Bands like Nazareth and Golden Earring that really held that scene between, that made the mid-70s very exciting. So you almost got to get pissed off here, because we're talking about Sweet. Give us a wank! It's like Marianne at the Shaky Hands, The Who. Well, this is Give Us a Wank. Sweet, give us a wank. She gave me love like a fire after my balls inside her. She's the kind of lady who's gonna take a maybe from me. Fucking mad, the Sweet.
Mark's made a list of the best albums in the history of the human being. Records we all should talk about. An album we could all listen to this week.
Hello, 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 hello. I'm so happy to be back. I've been gone away for a month. I was on a cooking mission down in Costa Rica, cooking for jungle people and learning the art of cooking cobras and tigers. And today we're doing Kiss, the first record. The song is Firehouse. But boom, this is the first record, 1974, one of the best records of all time. So this is for Dallas and our love of Kiss. Cold gin, yeah! So today on the show, Firehouse Chili. This is it right here. We got hamburger, Italian sausages, some chorizo, some pepperoni, basic beef broth, kidney beans, your tomatoes, jalapenos, green peppers as garnish, along with sour cream, some extra cock sauce and stuff, and all this in the piece de resistance, the pepper de ghost, in this thing right here, man. It's gonna burn your face right the fuck right off, man. I gotta get my drink. Basically, I'm just going to put this all in one pot. This big stock pot here. Might as well keep the flavor and the blood from everything. Get in there, burger. Italian sausages. And what I'm going to do with these, slice open the casing, add a few of these in here, just like this. Look at that. It's a cake. Oh, it's just like a... The chef's condom, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'm just going to go in here and break up this beef. We'll let that cook for a little bit. Take out the pepperoni, the chorizo, and the rest of the Italian sausage. Then we're going to cut it up into itty bitty pieces, fry it up, just to get them nice and greasy and crispy, to add it into the chili as extra meat. So I'll just cut these up into chunks, you know, you still want them to be fairly big. This is the Firehouse! Go put on your Kiss records. Think about my love gun. Love gun. I'm just going to add a little bit of this beef broth to this, just to help deglaze the bottom of this sucker here. All this nice massive stuff is going to go in here as well. And that's the sausage, pepperoni, and chorizo. Look at that grease bomb. And crushed tomatoes right here, which is always good. They're diced. It's the only vegetable going in here. Beef broth and butter into the magic bullet. Flour, as I got the DTs going on. All right, here's some Thai chilies. Super, super duper hot. That's a lot. Some Frank's Thick, some cock sauce, because you always need more cock in your sauce. And the, oh God, is he actually doing this? Ooh, oh, I think that's enough of that. That's not going to be good. I hope it's still tasty. Nothing worse when it's too hot. But, oh well, worth a try. Chili powder. Because it wouldn't be chili without it. It'd be like some sort of strange spaghetti sauce. Let's go over to the magic bullet here. Oh my Lanta, I'm gonna need some Zantac for this. It's gonna be so hot. It'd be like a drag racer. Time for our guests to come in from the age of 16 when my band, the Monoxides, first started playing. The second show that we ever played was with this band at Westbrook Circle. They have a show coming up, which is very rare. It happens once every century, which is kind of like, you know, like a crazy meteor shower, Halley's Comets, or Satan's Return to eat a roast beef sandwich. I want to introduce you to Shane Mazerol and Todd Mazerol from the Mighty Earth AD.
Chef Ramsey.
Yay! How you doing, boys?
Good.
These are my boys. We've been playing together now for how long? 22 years, I think, this year.
90.
So the reason why I want to have them on this show right now, because they are a giant staple when it comes to the Moncton scene, especially for metal. We all still look up to the Mighty Earth AD. It's still like a little child in us still loves this band. And they're actually playing. The show is May 25th, right?
Yes.
Why are we doing the show? Like, you know, like...
Girlfriends and wives had enough of us. They wanted us out of the house.
So give me a brief history just on like the band. I know that you got gray hair.
Can't stop time.
Todd's got gray hair, but I mean,
do,
still,
but I'm still young.
This guy works a lot.
I'm still young.
You know, Todd's still 19.
Yeah, I don't work.
This guy's like 90 going on 148. D is 148. Shannon Osborne, one of the best guys I've ever seen play drums.
I couldn't play guitar at the time. Yeah, I still can.
Oh no, but like I knew that you couldn't play, but for some reason you played a lot better than we all did.
No More in 90.
Yeah.
Scars of the Mind in 91.
Right.
Crucifix in 93.
Yep.
And then These Days.
And Crucifix is a 7-inch, right?
Yes.
Which is an amazing 7-inch too. Produced by Rick White. You know, engineered it, I guess, not really produced.
He recorded that right in my dad's living room.
Right in Fred's old living room there with the old deer head.
These Days in 98.
And then you guys stopped.
Well, no, then we released the CD in 2005.
On the surface.
From Westbrook Circle, Earth AD. So Earth AD, May 25th with Degrade, Rapid Reaction, and Purple Night at the Manhattan.
Yeah, so it's $10 in advance, $50
and
at the door.
Be there because this show's gonna knock your socks off. Earth AD. On the next episode, we are gonna do a transplantation of David Crosby's old liver into me. This thing is super spicy. I'm gonna add some of the Crosby's molasses just to round it out. There we go. We got some green onion here, as you might remember as 70s bush. Oh, I'm trying to find it in there. I'm gonna take these out. I'm gonna do something extra special. Adding the jalapeno seeds, which is the hottest part. So right now I'm still working on the garnish here. As I'm gonna stretch some cheese, it's another topping, along with the green peppers / jalapenos. Regular thing. Right now it's chili time with Earth AD. There we go. Take some nice cheese, put that on top. Sour cream, and then the jalapeno green onion mix as a garnish. Ladies and gentlemen, Firehouse Chili. This is gonna be one fucking shit that I'll never ever forget. Todd Mazerow, Shane Mazerow, Kiss. First record 74. Firehouse. You won't be able to sleep tonight, it'll be all bad dreams.
Cheers. It is hotter than hell.
Oh yeah.
Let's go to the McDons house. Let's go to the McDons. Let's go to the McDons house and play some songs.
Thanks, everybody.